No, we are more a republic. As the ancient Romans improved upon Greek civilization, they introduced republican government, which means we may remain with our families, on our farms, at our places of business, and to elect those to govern on our behalf. I would that we were more purely a democratical republic, so we might represent the entire population of these 17 states. But as you know, that has not been achieved as yet. For who are not properly represented in our government are those we enslave, our women folk, the Aborigines, and people who do not own property, varying in great degrees, but essentially those who are on property have no representation, our tenants and the like. Oh, I hope that we can continue the arguments to progress towards a more pure and perfect democratical republic. But my point, the minute that I made mention to this young lad, what ocracy do you think is the great foundation of these United States? He did not hesitate a moment, but boldly answered me, "Oh, sir, we are a hypocrisy." Well, I was delighted, absolutely delighted, as well as astounded with his immediate remark. I said, "Pray tell, lad, why do you say so?" He said, "Oh, our President of the United States, Thomas Jefferson, the greatest hypocrite who ever lived." I said, "Yes, I've heard that." Why? He said, "Well, he is the author of the Declaration of our American Independence. He has written all men are created equal, and yet, how well we know Mr. Jefferson is the holder of many hundreds of slaves." Yes, I said, I have heard that, and I know Mr. Jefferson, and I can tell you he is the first and foremost to pronounce what you have just said, but I would like to ask you, lad, is ultimately disastrous to our political economy. That we can no longer support a system of labor that has grown well 50% or more than our population. How are we to end this overnight is the great trouble. Well, I said to the lad, "You know that what you speak is indeed the greatest concern now amongst all our people. That if this nation is to survive another 31 years, let alone another 62 years, imagine, the year 1869, it will need more citizens such as yourself to stand boldly and offer their opinion, to engage themselves in their government, to hold the reins of self-government and citizenship. But I will help you, lad, understand something. Mr. Jefferson has always said that there is not one new or original thought in the Declaration of our American independence. All of it has been written before and argued and debated before, and you may find it in the elementary books of public right, the works of Aristotle, Cicero, Algernon Sidney, and John Locke. What Mr. Jefferson has tried to do, he says, was simply shed the lofty sophisms and explain it all in clear and simple terms so that everyone might understand it, so that we might comprehend in our great diversity and place before the world the common sense of the matter, which is simply that the mass of mankind has not been born with saddles on their backs, nor a few booted and spurred ready to ride them. But Mr. Jefferson will let you know that he provided a particular alteration to the writings of these ancient authors, in particular to Mr. Locke, for it was Mr. Locke who wrote, "All men are created equal." Mr. Locke wrote, "We are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and..."
The pursuit of...
No, if you will, that is what I wrote.
Property.
I'm delighted to hear you've read so well. Mr. Locke wrote, "Amongst our inalienable rights are life, liberty, and..."
Property.
Property. Who made mention of that? Gentlemen, observe the wisdom of a lady here amongst us today. This is all the more reason why we must encourage a universal system of education for our females. It is necessary, and I have tried to encourage that nearly my entire life. Thank you, ma'am, for that recognition. Mr. Locke wrote, "Amongst our inalienable rights are life, liberty, and property."